When all you've got is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. You may have heard that term before. I just thought I would kind of expound on exactly what it means and how our society is so affected by cognitive bias right now that we've got our heads up our asses. And it's not like it's something we decided to do overnight. It's just that our heads have always been in our asses. And a couple of people have their heads pulled out and they're starting to look around and say, hey, we could do better. The old term, well, there was a term, the golden hammer. It's actually called the law of the instrument. And it's known as Maslow's hammer or the golden hammer. And it lies along the concept of when you only have a specific set of tools in order to deal with situations in life, you're going to look at everything through that lens. And this is what cognitive bias is. It's the idea that we can, if we only understand how to solve a problem one way, then we're going to try to tackle everything with that one bit of knowledge we have. Everybody's known somebody in their life who just, you meet somebody who learned something new and all of a sudden everything is about that. This discovery of that you've been lied to, so all of a sudden everything you hear is a lie. These extreme versions of bias, which is kind of like a self-protective measure, I guess. But I wanted to read what a cognitive bias is by definition, so you can understand where I'm coming from. I'm sure many of you are already aware, but for those who aren't, or maybe want a more adequate definition. A cognitive bias is a systematic pattern of deviation from norm or rationality in judgment. Individuals create their own subjective social reality from their perception of the input. An individual's construction of social reality, not the objective input, may dictate their behavior in the social world. Thus, cognitive biases may sometimes lead to perceptual distortion, inaccurate judgment, illogical interpretation, or what is broadly called irrationality. Some cognitive biases are presumably adaptive. Cognitive biases may lead to some more effective actions in a given context. Furthermore, allowing cognitive biases enable faster decisions which can blah, blah, blah. And it goes on and on. Now, what it's basically saying is that some cognitive biases can benefit us. Let me put it this way. Let's just say you are a person who has said, well, I want to be smart, so I'm going to say I'm smart, right? This idea of kind of manifesting your reality, pretending like you already are what you want to be, and in which case certain biases, if you're looking at yourself in a positive light, you may actually change your behaviors to fit that bias, and that could be a good thing. But there's a whole list of cognitive biases that have been written out, and I just wanted to read out 4 of them, which I think really tie closely together with what's going on in politics and in the world right now. The first one is the ActorObserver Bias, and this one I run into all the time online with people. It's the tendency for explanations of other individuals' behaviors to overemphasize the influence of their personality and underemphasize the influence of their situation. So, it has more description, but in a nutshell, instead of looking at a person's decisions or their situation, we judge them based on our perception of how they should be or what we think that they think. Basically, it's their own fault. This is very clearly seen with the homeless problem right now. It's a perfect example. There are homeless people, everywhere, every country, every state, but some areas have huge problems, and they try to, they think you can arrest your way out of it. They think that you can fine them or give them tickets and that's going to help the homeless problem. It's just a joke, That hammer does not work. Oh, shut up, dog. The next one is called authority bias. The tendency to attribute greater accuracy to the opinion of an authority figure, unrelated to its content, and be more influenced by that opinion. That's authoritarianism. It's something that over the last couple of years, I actually thought more people were free thinkers than I really realized. Really want a daddy to tell them what to do. And this is clearly seen in what's going on in the U.S. right now with our president, because it's just obscene and absurd that it's fine, people can support whoever they choose, but it's believing one individual's claims over everyone else's. This is authoritarianism at its worst. And self-serving bias, the tendency to claim more responsibility for successes than failures. That's basically anything that I've gained, has been from my doing, and everything I've lost has been somebody else's fault. It's the blame game, and people have been playing that one for a long time. And also shared information bias, whereas a group of people who are trying to come to new conclusions end up spending more time talking about stuff they already know than trying to get new information. That's a very common one, but as far as, there's not a lot else I can really say about it. I guess I just wanted to put it out there for anyone who wasn't aware of how bad some of these cognitive biases are, but rather, more importantly, to stop trusting people who tell you they know what's best for you, or they know what's best for the country or the world. There's always some authority figure who's going to have the arrogance and ego to tell you that they know what's best. And I'm telling you that, in my experience, not one individual has never solved a problem. I should say one individual can't solve all the problems. It takes a team. It takes a lot of people. And so our cognitive biases hold us back from really seeing things as they are, because we're afraid to separate ourselves from what we believe to be true, I guess. We want to believe so much that we're right, and we're more often than not incorrect. So I guess I'm competing with the dogs, so I'll make a deeper one, talk about this at a future date. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to y'all later.